Rachelsey at the movies, yay!
So we're here to tell you, basically,
This about the movies.
A little bit different, but we just want to spread like the joy of a TV series called Wrecked.
Man,
because
I love you, Wrecked.
Think it gets enough love.
No, it is one of the funniest, most awesome shows that I've ever seen. There's only 3 seasons of it. It was on TBS.
Yeah.
I think they canceled it, right? It's no longer coming back.
It's not. It was last aired fall of 2018. We would love
There's only 30 episodes.
The makers of it wanted to continue making it. If it could go to Netflix or something like that, it would be awesome. But okay, maybe you're looking for something to watch that's funny, not so heavy.
During quarantine.
Like, goodness, we just watched Unsolved Mysteries. It's pretty heavy, you know? So, you want something funny? Like, this show is funny. So let me just, set it up for you. Wrecked is a spoof on Lost. So Lost was not a comedy. Lost was a
very serious business. Drama,
mystery, suspense kind of thing. Very character-driven. Wrecked is a I'm going to say a light spoof. Because it's not like
It's not a one-to-one spoof where everything's
it's not a shot-for-shot spoof.
But it is.
It's not a character-for-character spoof. You're not even, it's not like, oh, there's Jack, there's a Kate, there's
But there are, it's called Wrecked instead of Lost.
It starts in a similar way. They're on a plane, they wreck on an island, it's called Wrecked.
There's, situations where, that happen in Lost, where all of a sudden a character is talking to somebody who's dead, or, a ghost or something. There's stuff like that, which they're spoofing off of Lost.
But they create a ton more new content within their own show.
Funny.
So you don't, because that would get old real fast.
It is so hilarious. It is one of the funny, and it gets better every season. By the end of the 3rd season, it is just so hilarious, and all the characters are funny.
Really funny.
What a great and funny show. I'm so surprised. I can't believe it got canceled, because the story makeup is that if you're on a 10-episode run on the summer on TBS, the bar's pretty low, right? But this show, which is literally one of the funniest and best shows I've ever seen, totally didn't make it past 3 seasons. Disappointed, TBS.
The comedy in this show.
Well, it's also there's comedy, but it's also crazy, and crazy stuff happens. It's interesting.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But just the comedy aspect of it, I feel like there's levels to the comedy. So when we rewatched Lost recently. And then we were like, as soon as that was over, because it's kind of hard, it's a little sad, but it's over. We were like, we're going to watch Wrecked right behind it. And then when it started up, so we haven't seen, the last episode of Wrecked, in a couple years. We hadn't seen the first episode of Wrecked in probably 5 years. And I was like, oh, I don't remember there being, this much bathroom humor. It's funny, but it was kind of, a lot. But that's what I mean by levels. There's, stuff like that, but then there's, stuff that I find, whether it's, dry wit, a layered kind of humor where there's callbacks, so, something the character experienced episodes ago will be brought back in, and it's part of, who they are.
There's character arcs for all of them.
Yes.
The timing... Their comedic timing
Their comedic timing of how, it was cast very well. Mm-hmm. How each actor delivers their lines is really, really good. And then there's surprises with, a character. So there's one character who, I don't want to give any spoilers away. All these people have...
Which happened in Lost.
Right. They have lives on, back in the real, where they were before. And... Anyway, so you look at somebody like John Locke, right, from Lost, who is on the island, I'm strong and I'm brave, but he wasn't like that. So it's really, but they do it, and on Wrecked, it's for humor.
It is,
and they
it's great.
Nail the timing of how they do all of this.
Even the characters, you love a lot of the characters. And they're funny and. But it's also they're involved in this kind of adventure, weird story that you are interested in what happens.
Well, so speaking of the characters, and you love them, you like them, the there's some kind of measure of genius to be able to have a character have really unlikable traits, but you still like them.
Like Steve.
Well, like I was thinking Todd,
Todd's
like
the best. Yeah.
or Pac, like he like is all like he's a sports agent and
Even like Chet by the end of the
right,
third
like
season.
he has a big
what
change.
An amazing.
I mean, just a lot. Like it's to be able to do that and it's just all so funny.
Yeah, and so it was created by the Shipley brothers, which I'm like, where are they at now? Like, why aren't we getting other Shipley brothers comedies?
I'd have to look.
What's going on, Shipley brothers? I'm ready.
Something else that I really like that I think they did a great job was bringing in characters who were very much like real people, yet you have the drama, of TV that keeps you interested in wanting to watch. Like, I don't want to see actual real people doing nothing on an island forever.
Yeah.
So like characters of like Todd and his girlfriend Jess, like those are real people out in the world. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I meet people like that, and to give them a sense of dignity that it's okay. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it's like poking fun at everybody, but also respecting and everybody's experience.
Yeah, the fact that you bring in a character like this who is very much I don't like
even
Todd loves like the series Ballers. Like everybody's talking about Game of Thrones and he's like Ballers is like the best show ever because he's that type and he completely owns it, right? And he loves living in Scottsdale, Arizona. Like he thinks that's the best place ever. But there's a certain like dignity that comes along with it. Yeah. And I just appreciate that like I could totally meet somebody like this in my real life,
yeah, which is that's how real life works, I think.
Yeah. So I just felt like they did a good job of bringing in real life, but in a way that keeps me interested.
What they also did very well, similar to Lost, is that they were able to bring in new characters for every season, brand new characters that fit in perfectly and that were well cast and perfectly portrayed. Yeah. And that is not something that's common in shows. If you watch TV at all, you know that all of a sudden they'll bring people in. It doesn't work. In Lost, everything they did pretty much worked. And it was the same thing for the 3 seasons of Wrecked.
Yeah, yeah. And to speak to that even more, which you brought up earlier, was, okay, so yeah, this is a comedy, but there's a thread all the way through it. So this isn't like, Seinfeld, you can just go and pick an episode and watch it out of order and it doesn't matter. No, all 3 seasons are connected. There's a thread, so you're involved, you're engaged with it. On top of that, like the mystery and like shocking content for every season was, I was like, wow. Also similar to Lost.
I will say also, even though it was canceled, by the end of the 3rd season, you're not left in a place where you're like, oh, I'll never find out what happened.
No, it was like the perfect bridge.
They did a good job of
it can. Every season ended.
Yeah.
But there was also like something like more, yeah. And then when you come back to season 2, it's like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Like now you have this whole thing that this crew is all going through together. And we talked about it when we did our Lost review, is that we've watched series where they have like this tiny bit of like mystery and they just milk it. And you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And Lost didn't do that. Lost just like kept coming. And I feel like Wreck did the same thing. Like it just kept coming, but they had so much comedy in it. Like I can't tell you guys, like, and I'm not somebody that finds everything funny. There are people out there like, oh, this is hilarious, and I go to watch it, I'm like, this is not funny. It's not funny. But this, so I think that you can take my funny recommendation. That's what I'm saying.
Obviously, everybody thinks that
like,
they can take other people can take their funny recommendation.
No, if you think everything's funny, then yeah, some people aren't gonna like some of the stuff you think is funny.
I get your logic.
I think less things are funny, so I think almost everybody's going to find the thing that I think is funny. Now, there is a slight, like, variation from that. I know somebody that doesn't think Seinfeld is funny. I don't really like. It's like shocking to me, but I guess that exists out there.
Right.
I'm saying it's so funny. I really like. We both highly recommend this. We watched it on the Hulu.
Yeah. Watch it on Hulu. It's also on the TBS app. As far as I understand.
There's an app. TBS.
I actually don't know if it's
streaming service.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
We don't know.
I'm 40% sure. So I'm just well, I'm 100% sure you should watch it.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure. There's people. I wouldn't tell my dad to watch it. I'm just saying.
We recommend
I guarantee that I think you should watch it.
Yes.